What's good, everybody? So, going with the current theme of BeerBiceps, I thought that today's video has to be about steroids again. And it's a great opportunity for me to talk about what my personal opinion on steroids is. First things first, I have nothing against people who do steroids. It's their decision. If they want to put something inside their body, it's their call entirely. I never judge anyone for anything. Everyone's got their own stories. And in today's video, I'm just going to give you a piece of my story. I'm going to talk about why I personally will never do steroids. Okay, so when I was 15 years old, as most of you know, I was super obese. I've spoken about it a lot on BeerBiceps. I was obese because every second day I used to order pizzas or Chinese food or naans and butter chicken, and I used to gorge on it. And I had a lot of health problems thanks to this unhealthy lifestyle and obviously a lack of exercise. So this one night when I was 15 or 16 years old, I was asleep and I got up at 3 in the morning with this crazy pain in my back. I felt like someone was stabbing me in the back. And keep in mind, I'd broken my ribs earlier, I've broken my shoulders, I've had like a lot of injuries, but nothing compared to this pain. And the next day I got a scan done and we figured that I had a cholesterol stone in my gallbladder. So I got operated the same day and it was one of the most painful experiences. The post-surgery pain was just very intense for me. So they gave me a lot of painkillers. And I remember being in my hospital bed, being kind of high because of the painkillers. And in my high, I promised myself that, enough of being unhealthy. And if you want to avoid this pain in the future, you just have to kind of buck up. You have to embrace some kind of a different lifestyle. And your current diet and exercise regime just isn't good enough. So after my 12th grade, when I was 19, I started working out and the rest is history. Today I'm running a fitness blog. Now keep in mind that when I was starting out BeerBiceps, when I was running BeerBiceps over the last year, and even today after 80,000 subscribers and all these viral videos, I still get told that, bro, all this is awesome, but imagine where you can take your career if you do steroids, if you do gear. Imagine what kind of body you'll achieve and imagine what that body will make you achieve. I've got it this far being a complete natural. What makes you think that I'll end up doing steroids now or at any point in the future? As a fitness blogger, I know that my body and my image is what is going to earn money later. But at the same time, I am not trying to earn money. I am not trying to earn subscribers. I'm trying to get my message out there to people. As you know, especially if you're a long-term gymmer, if you know your fitness science, we've grown up in a society where an unrealistic body image for men is the norm. A lot of people start gymming to achieve unrealistic body goals. And that's because we've been grown up being showed all these huge deltoids and crazily big pecs and abs in the media. So I gym to run away from that unhealthy 15-year-old and move towards a very healthy Ranveer for the rest of his life. I gym so that when I'm 80 years old, I can pick up my luggage myself, I can play around with kids and do all that. But a lot of people unfortunately start gymming just to look good. And that is primarily why a lot of people in India especially end up doing steroids. They're gymming only for the looks aspect of things. They're only gymming for aesthetics so that they can take pictures, put it up on social media, get likes, get a lot of attention for themselves. And again, keep in mind, I'm not trying to diss anyone who's done steroids. All this is just my opinion. The first reason I don't do steroids is because I don't gym for external validation. I don't care about what people think of me. Even if I'm a fitness blogger and people say, oh dude, his body is so shit, I don't care because I'm not gymming for the whole world. I am gymming for Ranveer. I'm gymming for that 15-year-old who slept in that hospital bed and promised himself that he'll never be that unhealthy again. That's the kid I'm gymming for. And that's what I feel most people should be gymming for. When I keep talking about being the best version of yourself and improving yourself constantly, this is what I mean. And let's move away from fitness for a while and let's just talk about human character. If you're the kind of person who's constantly looking for external validation and likes on social media, you're actually taking away from how comfortable you are with yourself, which in turn takes away from how happy you are internally. If you want to be the happiest version of yourself, you need to be super comfortable with who you are. And the only way you'll be super comfortable with who you are is if you don't care about anyone's opinion. So that's the first point. The core of my beliefs is that gymming and fitness should be for yourself and not for the outside world. The second reason I'm never going to do steroids, this is kind of like a sciencey fitness perspective of things. Steroids, the effects, some of them are permanent. Like you do end up gaining some long-term strength and you do end up keeping some amount of that muscle mass that you've gained through your steroid cycle, but most of it is temporary. While you're on gear, you'll be completely yoked. But when you come off it, eventually all those big muscles and all that is gonna kind of shrink up. And because your mind is so used to looking in the mirror and seeing that jacked dude, when the steroids effects go, you kind of want that past you again. And this sometimes leads to addiction in some cases because people get addicted to looking at that jacked version of themselves because they've reached the best version of themselves in their head and they constantly want to be there. So when they eventually come off steroids, they either get demotivated and stop gymming, which I've seen with a lot of gymmers. The guys who do steroids very early on in their fitness life end up stopping gymming. They're not in this for the long term. They just want to achieve that body once, show everyone that they've achieved it, and then go off it. That is not why I gym. Which brings me to my third point. The whole process of gymming is something that builds you up internally. Now, yes, I do love how I look because of my weight training. I do enjoy having big biceps and triceps. But what I enjoy more than anything is that after these 4 years of lifting, I can actually feel the change in my character. I know now 23-year-old Ranveer is a much mentally stronger version of himself than he was when he was 18 or 19. And a lot of that strength, that discipline, that focus, that hustle has come through the process of weight training 5 days a week at least. When you constantly have a kind of regime you follow, your mind constantly has a thing to go back to. So eventually you reach a stage where you find peace in the gym. And in that piece, you're able to think of a lot of things. You can think of your business. You can think of all these other little problems you have. And at the end of the workout, because of all the endorphins and the feel-good hormones that are released, you just feel nice about the process. Remember, when it comes to gymming, it isn't about your end goal. When you take steroids, you're jumping from point A to point B and achieving those big deltoids and those abs. But if you do it the natural way, you have to walk from point A to point B. You can't jump. And that is the point to be noted here. In that walk that you're doing from point A to point B, you're building up your body, obviously, but you're also building up your mind and character, which is something 2000 times bigger than achieving a great looking body. And this is coming from a fitness blogger whose career depends on his body. I feel like what I've been able to do in my career, thanks to my character, is 20 times bigger than what I would have been able to do if I'd done steroids and gotten, super jacked and then shown that on screen. Because I've done it the hard way, at the end of it, the rewards are bigger. Remember, when you're dying, you won't be remembered for your big arms or your abs. You're going to be remembered for the human being and the person you were. You're going to be remembered for your character. And if you want to set up an absolutely boss legacy, I feel like doing it the right way, not putting external substances into your body, and working really hard to achieve those fitness goals without being influenced by those unrealistic standards that society has set for you is the goal. That's what I gym for. And that's why I know that no matter what happens, no matter how many people tell me to take steroids, this body is always going to be natural. So until next time, guys, from Ranveer, see you.